That's about right.
Break a leg. Don't break a leg.
Good evening. What a joy to be asked to be part of this first-time event of hearing stories and songs about pioneer families of Bonita Springs going all the way up to the Everglades. I am so blessed to be the wife of a pioneer grandson, Byron Liles, who you just heard give the story, and my very first boyfriend, and we've been married since 1970. And I loved sitting on the porch of my father-in-law, Glenn Liles, the screen porch of a 3-bedroom house that he built with his own hands with a hammer and a saw, no electrical tools. And I loved hearing him tell stories about growing up from the time he was born in 1917. I've written a lot of songs in the last 20 years, but I especially love writing songs about real people and real stories. And so I'm going to start off with my husband's grandfather, J.W. Liles, and his 3 brothers, Marvin, Lawrence, and Carson, who all came here to Bonita in 1897. And this song was called The Liles Pioneer Brothers, and it goes like this. In the late 1800s, 4 brothers did come to a land in the south, to a bright shining sun. They heard there was work here with citrus and beer. 'Twas a land full of plenty, they could raise some kids here. These brothers were rugged, a real sturdy crew. They liked to have fun, even made their own brew. They knew how to fight, to defend their own site. Strong bodies and minds, they overcame every plight. They traveled for miles, these brothers called Liles. Rugged horses, sometimes in trains across the plains, sometimes in boats, on water they float. They never lost hope, they never lost hope. J.W. met Lula, married love, it was true. He was a hard worker, many jobs he pursued. From citrus to trucking to ranching cows, he would yell to a boarding house now called the Liles Hotel. Marvin was a manager of 2 citrus groves. He built his nice home on Bonita Beach Road. He met his wife, she too said I do, and soon there were children added to this clan too. They traveled for miles, these brothers called Liles. They galloped on horses through rough, rugged courses, sometimes in trains across the plains, sometimes in boats, on water they float. They never lost hope, they never lost hope. Yes, Lawrence lost his hand in a big cotton gin, but that didn't stop him from working back then. He picked citrus, was a teacher, a postmaster too, a moonshine distiller, and some ranching did do. Carson never built a home, he chose just to rent. But 'twas a hard worker, many hours he spent fixing small engines and sewing machines too. And like his brother Lawrence was a bachelor too. They traveled for miles, these brothers called Liles. They galloped on horses through rough, rugged courses, sometimes in trains across the plains, sometimes in boats, on water they'd float. They never lost hope, they never lost hope, they never lost hope, they never lost hope, they never lost hope. Thank you so much. I am so glad that the pioneers, not only in this area, but across our whole country, they never gave up hope. And I am so glad that they, I'm just totally amazed at all the pioneers, how strong and courageous and full of determination they were to never give up hope and never give up on their dreams. Now I have to say that they accidentally got the wrong picture showing for my husband's talk and for my songs, but that's okay. Now, not only do we have pioneer families that came to Bonita Springs, we also have our own pioneer school, currently called Bonita Springs Elementary School. But back when it was built in 1921, it went all the way from first grade to 12th grade. And so I loved hearing my father-in-law talk about growing up in Bonita Springs. And one of the stories that he used to talk about was just walking to school. And he was born in 1917, so when he was walking to school, he lived on Dean Street, and the corner of Dean Street and Imperial. And at that time, the road was strictly oyster shells, and both sides of Dean Street were just loaded with orange groves. And so he would walk to school, and other kids would join him as he was heading towards the school. And when they got to the school was totally surrounded with goat wire to keep the cows out of the schoolyard, because there were cows wandering around on the streets back at that time. And even some of the houses, their driveways, with the beginning of the driveway, they'd have a special entrance to the driveway with 2x4s designed that cows knew that they couldn't walk across those without getting stuck. And so they had these special driveways. And so this next song is not only going to be about our pioneer school, but it's also going to be about a very special pioneer man named T.J. Barnes. Mr. Barnes was so special that after he died, one day they closed the whole school down, and all the teachers and all the students did something that I had never heard of any other school doing before. Listen closely to this song so you can find out what they did. This is simply called They Closed the School Down. Since the beginning of time, using sand or wood, people tried to preserve any way that they could a little history for us to see. Everybody's got a story. Oh, we are history. Some people people write books to preserve history. Some people write preserving history. But I like writing songs and singing history. In the early 1900s, sir, they had one school teaching reading and writing, so we have no fools. One special day, Bonita School closed down to show love and respect for a great man in town. They closed the school down, they closed the school down. They closed the only school in town down. Single file they walked, down Dean Street they walked, to the cemetery they did walk. Mr. T.J. Barnes, he was that special man. He owned a citrus grove on 20 acres of land. His big house on Imperial hosted lots of guests, and his wife's delicious hominy. Now, if you don't know what hominy is, it's an old-fashioned type of grits, lots of cheese and butter. Hominy! Yes, it was the best. Survey's original school crew logs and floor of dirt soon had to be replaced when many children were birthed. TJ really loved kids, and for their happiness to the school he brought a stove. One of those old-fashioned wood stoves with a chimney pipe. And he also brought blackboards and brand new desks. They closed the school down, they closed the school down. They closed the only school in town down. Single file they walked, down Dean Street they walked, to the cemetery they did walk. They closed the school down, they closed the school down. They closed the only school in town down. Single file they walked, down Dean Street they walked, to the cemetery they did walk. To the cemetery they did walk. To the cemetery they did walk. Thank you so much. Mr. T.J. Barnes' own daughter, Clara Barnes, and my husband's Aunt Mary Laura Galloway Liles were the only two students that graduated from Bonita when it went all the way up to 12th grade. So thank you so much for coming and joining us tonight, and looking forward to hearing more songs tonight about pioneer families. God bless you.
Liles Hotel Flying, ladies and gentlemen. I have a question for you. How many lives and family members are still living around here?
Well, there's quite a few.
10?
I'd say more than 10.
They'll live forever. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a 15-minute break, and we'll come back for more stories, more blood and booze. Thank you so much for coming.